Hi guys, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. I'd like to talk to you about Bazi Astrology and the kind of questions that Bazi cannot answer. Yeah, although there's a lot that we can look into with Bazi Astrology, whether that be relationships or career, finances, wealth, even family matters. But there are a few questions that we simply cannot answer. And one of them would be, which is the country I'm going to retire in? Yeah, Bazi cannot tell you the name of a particular country you should or will be retiring in. What we can look into is whether or not there is a drastic change of social environment or social circle. That usually only happens when you make a drastic change in your living conditions or in your living environment. So we can tell when that happens and when you will be moving, but where to, that is much more difficult to answer, if not impossible to answer with Bazi. This would be a question that is much easier answered with Qimen Dunjia Forecasting, for example. But even then, you would have to give us some options. Yeah, throw out some countries that you are considering, and then we can tell you whether or not one of these countries is actually one of the front runners in terms of your choices. So this is really something that we are limited in when it comes to answering. Another question that I am sometimes asked is, will I be unfaithful? And I always wonder about people who ask that question, because whether or not you're going to be unfaithful, isn't that something that you will have to answer for yourself? I mean, I can show you in Bazi Astrology whether or not there is an opportunity for you to be unfaithful to your spouse. But again, it boils down to free will choices. Whether or not you actually follow through is up to you. So how you were raised, what your value system is, what your religious beliefs are, that all plays a role. I can tell you whether there may be a situation coming up where you might be tempted to do so. But again, I cannot predict what your free will choices will be. The same when it comes to asking whether your spouse or your partner will have an affair. Again, I can say whether or not, or I can see whether or not there is a risk, but whether or not that actually happens depends not just on your spouse or your partner, but then also, again, it depends on you. Like, if someone has an affair, it always takes two people to make that happen, or three people to make that happen. So if you are in an unhappy relationship and you're not doing anything whatsoever to save the relationship, then that risk increases, right? So these are the kind of questions I cannot answer with Bazi, because very often there's just too many variables involved. We can only see opportunities or situations that may be coming along, but which option you choose or which avenue you choose to go forward with is then entirely up to you. So if you would like to know more about that, if you would like to know what we can do with Bazi, or if you would like to have a reading, then get in touch with me. My contact details are in the notes below.